I have another Panasonic DMR-EZ48V, and this one has no picture. Place your bets now. What do you think's wrong with it? Let me know in the comments. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another Mr. Betamax video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we are looking at Panasonic DMR-EZ or EZ48V. Now I've already featured one of these on the channel. It had a something or other error on it, changed all the critical caps in the power supply, and I mean it's been in the front room working fine. I don't use it a huge amount, but it does get used. I've done lots of recording with it, playback, copying to DVD, recording on DVD, and it's been perfect. It's been a joy to use, to be honest. So I thought I'd get another one. This is from eBay, and bought as faulty. The main reason I went for it is incredibly tidy. The top cover actually does have a few scratches on it, which I didn't quite pick up in the photos, but that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. But the actual front of the machine it's really tidy, and it comes with the remote control, which is also really tidy. It's not seen much use, and the original power lead, for what it's worth. Yeah, so these machines, they're what are they, something like 2005 to 2012 or something, I can't remember now. But it's one of the last VHS machines from Panasonic. Has a DVD recorder in it as well, and it also has this version. Has a DV in. It's exactly the same as the other one that I have as my sort of, if you like, daily driver VHS. There were versions that had USB as well. A really very cool machine, not least because it features HDMI, which is a very useful output to have. It's got dual SCART, it's got component out, and you've got component video outs as well, which is very useful. It's figure of 8 mains in as well, and like I said in the opening segment, it has no picture, and I'm sort of a bit intrigued to see what that actually is. What's actually wrong with it. I have already had a quick look inside. It's a bit of a spoiler, I suppose. But taking the screws out, let's have a look. I am envisaging this being quite a short video, which probably means it's going to be a long video, because it never works out like that. But for once, this might be a short video. It might just be a head clean, and away we go. So, the deck, very much of the age. It looks cheap and nasty. It's actually not bad. So, I suppose we ought to try it. And just before we do, let's just have a look at this drum, because no picture might suggest some bad heads. And to be fair, has this ever had a cassette in it? It's so clean. What I sort of am disappointed in with the top cover is made up for just how clean it is inside. I mean, this cover here is shield. There's so little dust on it, and that's where it tends to end up. The fan, there is dust in it, but to be honest, you can see the fan hasn't rotated. It's just had dust flow through it without the fan rotating, if that makes sense. You see where the blades have been sat. So, wow. Capacitor wise, they all look good. The ones I can see, there are some caps under here that also need to be changed and tend to fail, but it's all looking pretty tidy, and that's the main reason I wanted to take the cover off before I powered it up. I believe the last one actually did have crust on the top of the caps, and you don't particularly need to be, or want to be, powering up a machine with that amount of leakage on the caps, because you pop the power supply depending on where they are. So yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, so we'll plug it in using SCART adapter at this stage. 2 SCARTs on the top. I'm picking the top one. I think I've got that right. Input output switch on the thing itself. Okay, so let's plug it in. Please wait. Now we've got this booting period, and this is a bit of a telltale, because if this takes a very long time, then there's a chance we have got power supply issues. Could be other things as well, but it tends to be power supply issues. So we'll just see. I think I seem to remember we timed this at about a minute. Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, well, that was quick. That was very quick, actually. Okay, so so the complaint with it, like I say, no picture, but there was sound, which is an interesting one. So okay, so we've got no drum rotation at all. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to put this into service mode, and just sort of learning this a little bit. It's very detailed in the manual. You can actually download the manual for this quite easily. It's free. I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, so basically with it in standby, in the manual it says when it's off, which doesn't make sense, but in standby, if you press the stop and eject buttons for 3 seconds, it does also look, here we go, service mode number. So it's saying 6-539. So it just only goes up to 5 here. Supplementary data. Let's have a look. Forward means the loading motor is on. Has occurred when the mechanism has been between reverse position and load position. 70400. Oh gosh. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. So that's how you eject it. So going into 7 and then pressing the eject and the stop button, I think that makes it eject the cassette. That's totally different to the manual. The manual doesn't say that. Okay. I mean, this could be down to software revisions, but that's really odd. So what I'm going to do is I want to go to function menu and just see if there's anything there. Yes, there is. No cassette. So you can actually see we're getting the menu, and return. So I still sort of feel like I've got a problem with power supply rather than anything else, although yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the next thing to do, to be honest, is try a DVD. So let's do that next. Okay, so I have a DVD. I actually recorded this on my other EZ48V. So in theory this should work, maybe? We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's definitely playing. Super. So, yeah, it's just a test recording I did. This is a rewritable CD. So... So, yeah, so that works fine. So that to me is pointing more maybe to a drum issue. Now I think we need to measure some voltages and just check through. Okay, so I've gone through all of the voltages. I'm looking for a positive unregulated 38 volts basically, which eventually drives the cylinder motor units by a control chip. Now, I've just discovered the manual that I have is actually for a US version, I believe, and I thought, well, it probably won't be that different, but it is actually quite different, to the extent that I should be finding, to the manual, I should be finding 38 volts on pin 17 of this connector, but on the circuit diagram, it's actually showing it as a 19-pin connector. It is P6003. This is a 22 pin. So is it still on pin 17? I don't know. I've gone through all these three connectors. I know there's another one under here, but I would assume it's still going to be on 003. So I've now removed the DVD deck so I can get to the connector 01, and what's interesting is 38 volts comes in direct from this transformer through that diode. There's no regulation or anything, and it actually goes through to the digital board on pin 11. And you can see I've got 16 volts there, but the deck has actually been off. It's actually unplugged, and so yeah, I mean, I was quite shocked because I was just sort of working through which pin to test, and it's been off a good half hour and I still had about 15 volts on it. So whatever's the other side of this is completely open circuit. I mean, there must be a cap there somewhere because obviously it's holding a charge, but yeah, I think I probably have, I'm hoping I just have some sort of fuse that's maybe gone open, but like I say, I've got the right manual now, and I will put a link to that in the description. I'll do the North American one and the European one, just so it covers everyone, covers all bases. And but yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do next is actually take out the deck and take out the main board. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so let's get the front back off, and we will get the deck off and then get the main board out. Always seem to manage to snag the metal. So get the deck back off. I still haven't found my proper screwdriver, so I'm using a crazy long one. So that should pull off now, yeah. It's got all the switches, oh, the sockets, plugs, whatever they are, come free. So, undo these, and you do that by pulling on. You're supposed to do it uniformly, but I couldn't then. So there is actually a little tab there that retains it, so be able to lift this out. Yeah. I've never actually seen the underside of one of these boards before. It's actually quite interesting to see all the plastic, which of course is to do with the mounting the deck, so that's quite cool. So just have to squeeze these. I probably don't need to do this, but squeeze that. You can see a bit more what we're doing. So deck mount. So area of interest is this chip here, and basically the 38 volts comes in from power supply on this connector, that's right, and the only thing that's really between the chip and the 38 volt rail is a resistor and a Zener diode, and Zener diode straps to ground, and there's a resistor before it, so I'll be interested to see if the Zener diode's bad, and that's maybe taking the resistor, or I mean, I think it's a 10 k ohm. It's quite a high value. I could be wrong, but yeah, whether that's actually the problem. So I'll check that next. So the resistor and diode are actually on the top of the board, which is quite handy, but also quite bulky items relatively, so not SMD. So the resistor, it is a 10 k ohm, and so you can see that's roughly what we have. And then the diode appears to be fine. And there's nothing, well, there's pretty much nothing on the end of that. It's literally the rail is coming straight in from the power supply, goes off to the tuning section for tuning, and this, so that's it. So it's looking very much like we actually have potentially a bad chip. Incidentally, the other reason I think it is that chip, and rather than anything that's going around it, this chip also controls the loading motor, and if that chip didn't have voltage going to it, then basically it wouldn't load, it wouldn't do anything. So I'm pretty confident it's going to be the chip, and it's going to be the head drive side of that chip that's gone. So yeah, let's see what we can find. Okay, so I'm just going to test the whether that Zener diode is working as it should, and whether we've got voltage going to the chip. Basically what I've done is I've soldered on to ground and to the 38 volt rail, which comes across here from the connector. The resistor is here, and the Zener diode is here. So I'm going to test the Zener diode itself, make sure that it is actually clamping down as it should. So what I've done is I've got common or ground here, and then I've soldered onto the 38 volt rail, which comes from this connector. And I should be getting about 17 volts, I think. Looking at the data sheet for the diode, that's the one to go for. Oh, there we go. So I'm putting through 26 volts at the moment. I'm gone up to the full 30 yet. I don't see the point. As long as I'm seeing somewhere near 17, that's within tolerance of the data sheets, 16 volts. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, the voltages are there. So I have to suspect it's that chip, which is problematic, because trying to get that chip is pretty hard. I've found a supplier in China that has them. What they'd be like, I don't know. But of course they're after quantity as well. So with that, I think I'm going to have to leave it here, unfortunately. If you do know of anyone that, or anywhere where I could get this chip, let me know in the comments. That would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, short of that, or if you know, I can get some extension leads so I can actually do some testing with it live, which would be great. I can then do proper diagnosis. But yeah, I'm when a tree's stuck, really. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe as well. Lots of great content to come in the future. Quite a lot of Betamax machines to come as well. There's still loads more Betamax machines to come. So yeah, see you in another video. Bye for now.